When I'm president, we will put parents back in charge and give them the final say. More than anyone else, parents know what their children need. If any principal is not getting the job done, the parents should be able to vote to fire them and select someone who will. This will be the ultimate form of local control.
Donald Trump's education policy rollout is clear. Parents know what's best for the kids, and they should hold a direct involvement with their education. But what if one of those parents has an Onlyfans account? Should that mom or dad hold the same rights at their child's school? Well, for those at home who aren't up to date with Onlyfans, it's a social media platform that was created to let users post content behind a paywall, which only fans can subscribe to for access. Fans can also pay more money to message back and forth with creators and even tip them to get content created for them on demand. Oftentimes, this content is sexually explicit in nature. Now, Victoria Triece is an Onlyfans model. She's also a Florida mother who's suing her child's school district, alleging she was banned from volunteering in her child's classroom because she has an account on Onlyfans. She says the school only allowed her to participate in virtual events. That mother joins us now with her attorney, Mark Najim. Thank you both for joining us this evening. We reached out to point out for our audience, we reached out to the Orange County School District for comment. They said the district does not comment on potential or pending litigation. Victoria, why do you feel that having an Onlyfans account shouldn't prevent you from volunteering with children?
Because what I do in my personal life shouldn't have an effect on how I am as a mother, how I interact with my children on any level.
Well, Victoria, what about the parents out there that say, you know what, there's a lot happening in our classrooms right now. You have, for example, we talk about this a lot on our program, LGBTQ teachers who are talking about their choices with students in the classroom. The parents aren't there to know what's going on behind the scenes. You have a very public profile. You've got an Instagram account that's out there for everybody to see with a number of poses that parents might be concerned by. What do you say to them when they see that and say, you know what, I'm not comfortable with this person being around my child?
I think that's the teacher's place to judge that. I've never done anything wrong inside of a classroom but be a good mother and be a great figure for everyone around me.
So you don't think it's a parent's place to judge that?
I think that if there's a problem, there is, but we don't even know that this came from a parent. It's an anonymous email that was never looked into.
So, Mark, let me ask you this. Your law firm released a statement saying this, quote, many other parents of children in Orange County schools, they're also participants in OnlyFans as well as other adult-oriented professions such as topless dancing, adult-themed acting, online sexting, among others. Have any of those parents come out in Victoria's defense, and were any of those parents you referred to allowed to volunteer inside the classroom as opposed to your client?
The people that have come out to her defense have been teachers, other parents, and children. Nobody knew what she was doing until the school board released these videos, these pictures, to the community, to the media, with a malicious intent, we're alleging, to cause harm upon her, to attempt to shame her. Nobody would have known about this but for the school board releasing the video and the pictures. Never in 5 years of her volunteering did anybody know. Nobody was concerned. And when the school board becomes the morality police, then it becomes dangerous. At what point do they stop? If somebody's committing adultery and the school board finds out about it. Some people would say that cheating on your spouse is a lot more of a moral offense than what she does in her off time. So now, are you going to stop parents who are cheating on their spouses from coming into schools and being with the children? Of course not. Where does it stop? When they have this unbridled authority, with no due process, with no felony or conviction, no arrest whatsoever, which is the standard for a volunteer, to then unilaterally say, you can't come around our children anymore. It's not right.
Well, I think, and I'll point out, Victoria, I have no problem personally with what you do in your personal time. I think a lot of people out there, a lot of other parents probably aren't concerned with what you're doing in your personal time. But when their children are potentially involved in being around you and they're not there, that's where perhaps some may be concerned. And just to kind of play devil's advocate here, to some, this might look like a stunt, maybe to get more attention for your OnlyFans account. Could you explain to our viewers why this lawsuit is so important to you?
Because it's a growing thing that's going to happen all the time. OnlyFans is growing by the day with young people. I mean, I'm not the first person that this has happened to. I can tell you that. And I'm not going to be the last person it happens to. And nobody should be told, nobody's child, nobody as a parent should be told that they can't be around their child when they've done nothing wrong at all.
So what do you say to those who say, you know what, Victoria, why not just move on from this, back off quietly? A lot of kids have cell phones today at pretty young ages. You have some adult-themed content on your public Instagram page that, parents might not want their kids to see. We have some of those examples we can put up on the screen. These are some of the things that they might see on your public Instagram profile. Does the concern not cross your mind here? What are your thoughts when you think about fellow parents, even, perhaps their children seeing some of this?
I don't know who lets their young child have a cell phone and have Instagram. My kids certainly don't. And who's not watching their kids on the internet?
Unfortunately, I think there are a lot of parents that are paying, a lot of parents that pay attention, but then there are a lot that aren't watching what their kids are doing online. Mark, let me ask you, it appears there are people at the school who find Victoria's life choices immoral, but we know immoral doesn't always mean illegal, of course. Is there any legal reason that could prevent Victoria or any other parent from volunteering at Sand Lake Elementary where your clients' kids attend?
She's in the additions program. She's been a volunteer for 5 years. The only bar to being, as we understand it, to being a volunteer is having a criminal conviction. She has none. We are getting great support from the school, teachers, from the parents. In fact, I think it's appropriate to point out they won't let her on the property, but yet they willingly continue to this day to take school supplies and books and reading materials that she volunteers to give them out of her pocket. And they meet her at the front of the school and take it in, but she's not allowed to go in herself. So they take her donations, they take her contributions, they continue to take her help, but she's got, like the days of old, a scarlet letter cast upon her. And it's just simply not right. Where does it stop when somebody can unilaterally say, we don't like what you do outside of the school in your private time, that's not illegal, and we're not going to let you allow around children? That crosses the line, and it has to be stopped, hence we're in court.
Well, Victoria, I will say I applaud any parent that wants to be involved in their children's lives, especially at school. Before we go, is there a message that you would like to share with our viewers about your story?
I just want to make a change. That's all I care about in this whole thing is I never want this to happen again to anybody, a mom, a dad, a parental figure in anyone's life.
All right, Victoria Triece, Mark Nijame, thank you both for taking time to be with us this evening and to share your story. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.